This is the book of Mark, chapter 13, verse 13. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahushai. Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahushai. Yahweh is the name who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahushai is his son who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai's sake. I'm Brother Samak from the GMS Miami camp. And yes, the reason why I brought out the book of Mark, chapter 13, verse 13, is I came across this article recently where the Trump administration is going after individuals, all right, that are against his policies, mainly when it comes to foreign policy. And that's the basis of what this article entails, okay? When you read this article, the Trump administration was targeting pro-Palestinians, anti-war in Gaza protesters, and snatching them in the middle of the night, taking them to a detention facility, all right? Because that's what this article was saying, all right? Yeah, I'll read it. It says, in Russia, Vladimir Putin will throw protesters against the war in Ukraine in prison. The Chinese Communist Party will send dissidents to re-education camps. It makes you thankful we live in the USA, where we proudly celebrate our right to free speech, including the right to tell the government to go to hell, right? Except in March 9th, the Trump administration arrested and briefly disappeared Muhammad Khalil because they disapprove of his protests against Israel's conduct of the war in Gaza, right? Because he was protesting at the colleges. I believe it was Columbia, all right, where he was attending. He was transferred to a remote, privately run Louisiana detention facility in the middle of the night and remains locked up. If you cut through the loose accusations, the White House justification for detaining and seeking to deport a green card holder whose U.S. citizen wife is expecting their baby in a month is that the administration approves of his views on Middle East politics, right? And I was following up of this particular situation, and it just came out today that that individual, all right, has been told that he's being deported. All right, a judge ruled in favor of the Trump administration, and they agree with what the Trump administration argument was, that what he was saying was against national security, and now they're deporting him. Okay, even though he has a green card, even though he was attending Columbia University. All right. So what is this? This is, they hated him. They hated what he had to say. And again, back to Mark chapter 13, verse 3, because us, all right, what we have to say, hey, everybody hates if they're not part of the elect. They're going to hate us if they're not part of the elect. All right, so Mark chapter 13, verse 13 again, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. Right, we're coming in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right, and we're telling, okay, all these wicked people that walk the earth that they're going to be judged. All right, especially, all right, Esau, Edom, all right, the so-called white race, because they're in the power seat. They're the ones ruling. All right, as well as 2/3 of our own people. Okay, we're saying that, all right, they're going to be judged, all right, for being wicked and not serving the Lord. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved, right? And we have to endure this, okay? We're going to have to endure persecution. We're going to have to endure, all right, the false allegations, all right, the defamation of character that they bring upon us, okay, all the lies and deceit, okay, and we have to endure that, and it's coming. Teachings on the highways and byways is coming to an end. I see it, all right, and I believe it's going to be under the Trump administration, okay, because even in this article, the reasoning why he was deported, all right, was because Marco Rubio, all right, stated that this was anti-Semitism, all right, what the individual was protesting about. So right here it says, well, Rubio acknowledged that Khalid's activities were otherwise lawful, right, because they are saying that he didn't do anything illegal. He was just speaking his mind. He argued that letting him remain in the country will undermine U.S. policy to combat anti-Semitism around the world in the United States, in addition to efforts to protect the JJ students from harassment and violence, right? Okay? So, again, and we always speak out against these people, all right? We're always calling them out, all right, and all the wickedness that they're doing. So, yeah, all right, again, this is the condition of the battle, all right? And this is something that Yahweh Shai told us what was going to happen, all right? So let me read this. And look at this, a hard road before them, right? And just like our forefathers, the disciples, they had a hard road before them, all the persecution, okay, that they went through, and you read it throughout the scriptures, okay? Same thing with us. Matthew chapter 10, verse 16, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves, right? And that's something we push out continually here at Great Millstone, all right? All right, we understand that we're behind, okay, enemy lines, and we have to move cordially, all right? Because we are sheep in the midst of wolves, all right? And we have to be harmless as doves, all right? That's why, we get on these pseudo-Hebrew Israelite individuals that are, flashing weapons around, okay, or being aggressive towards Esau, Edom in a way that it looks like you're trying to instill violence, okay? Like, we're not doing that. We're just teaching the word, all right? Bringing out the truth, okay? 17, but beware of men, for they will deliver you up to councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues, right? But at the end of the day, hey, there's still going to be false allegations, persecution, okay? And this is something you got to be mindful. 18, and ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for testimony against them and the Gentiles, right? Me personally, I'm for the wars, okay? I'm all about these wars, okay? Because I know these wars are necessary, all right, for these heathens, all right, to lose their sovereignty, okay? Especially Esau, Edom, okay? These wars are necessary for Esau, Edom to lose his power seat, okay? Now, the scriptures say what they say. Babylon will be destroyed. That is a fact, okay? And that's something we will say boldly, all right, to any governor or any king, okay? What's equivalent to a king, right? A president, all right? Saying, hey, your kingdom will be destroyed. Thus saith the scriptures. Thus saith Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Okay? For all the wickedness and all the evil you have done, all right, on this earth, especially to the children of Israel, okay? Who are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. 19. But when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak. Right, because the Lord's going to give us a heavy download. The particular men that He's selected to speak to these governors and kings, all right, for His namesake, for His testimony. The testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. 20. For it is not ye that speak, but the spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. Exactly. Okay. Because it's going to be from the Heavenly Father who's going to give us, all right, the spirit, all right, to be able to say what we need to say, all right. 21. And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death. Right, again, what we say, we're going to be hated by all men, okay, by our own relatives. Speaking out against this country, speaking out against, all right, this wicked kingdom. Yeah. All right? We're basically saying the party's over. All right. Look, again, 22. All right. And this is how you teach the Bible, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little, because Matthew, all right, in Matthew chapter 10, verse 22, and ye shall be hated for all men for my name's sake, but he that endured to the end shall be saved. This is the same thing that Mark wrote. The same thing. Okay? 23. But when they persecute you in the city, flee ye to another. For verily I say unto you, truly, ye shall not have gone over the cities of Israel till the Son of Man come. Right. So, this proves that you don't need to be flying everywhere. Okay? All right? The Lord has us here in Babylon for a reason, to preach here. And after that, once the famine of word comes, that's it. All right? Okay? Because when you go into the NLT version, it says, when you are persecuted in one town, flee to the next. I'll tell you the truth. The Son of Man will return before you have reached all the towns of Israel. Right? Okay? That's why that what the IUIC is doing doesn't make any sense. Okay? We're not going to be able to reach us personally, every Israelite. Okay? First of all, it's of the Lord. The Lord is the one who raises up who He wants to be delivered and who He doesn't. Okay? You can't make yourself the elect. And that's something we preach constantly here at Great Millstone through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. You cannot make yourself the elect. We don't even know we're part of the elect. We call ourselves the hopeful elect. We expect from the works, okay? But at the end of the day, all right, only the elect will be delivered. That's it. Period. All right? That's why IUIC and the rest of these individuals, they're not making any sense what they're doing. Okay? And we're going to see, all right, how they react when a famine of word does come, when persecution does come. We're going to see in that day, okay? Because we're all going to be tried. All right? 24. The disciple is not above his master, nor the servant above his Lord. 25. It is enough for the disciple that he be as his master, and the servant as his Lord. If they have called the master of the house Beelzebub, how much more shall they call them of his household? Right? They're going to call us all types of wickedness. They're going to say, we're worshiping devils, we're worshiping Satan, especially those plantation Christians. All right? They're going to come out of the woodwork. 26. Fear them not, therefore, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, and hid that shall not be known. Right? Okay? Because at the end of the day, we got the truth, and at the end of the day, we already know when they come against the prophets, the Lord is going to open up judgment. All right? And clean house. All right? (27) What I tell you in darkness, that speak ye in the light. Speak ye in light, and what ye hear in the ear, that preach ye upon the housetops. And that's what we've been doing. Okay? And we're going to continue to do it to our last dying breath. Okay? 28. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. Right? And That's the thing. You want to fear, all right, the creator, okay, of heaven and earth, okay, who's able to destroy both soul and body, all right, because this flesh is temporary, all right, but the spirit is forever, and you want to be, okay, in the Lord's good graces so that you are delivered, okay. You don't want to be hit with a nuke, real talk, and then be tormented in that nuclear fire until the Lord decides, all right, to get you out of that fire. All right. And everybody wants to know where the lake of fire is, right? Well, we're here at Great Millstone. We keep telling you the lake of fire is here in America, Babylon the Great. Okay. This is it. So, Lord willing is less edifying. One more. Revelation 2:10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. Right. The devil represents these Edomites, these so-called white leaders. The police force, the military intelligence agencies, the CIA, the FBI, whatever institution they use. Okay. The devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I'll give thee a crown of life. Right? Be faithful unto death. All right? Because this coincides with Jacob's trouble, and you got individuals out there, downplaying Jacob's trouble. You got one individual saying Jacob's trouble is gay. Okay, let's see that same mindset. All right? When that persecution comes, because hey, when you call yourself a Hebrew Israelite, you're a target. All right. 11. For he that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death. Right. And the second death is talking about the nuclear destruction. Okay. That lake of fire. All right. So, Lord willing, let's less edify. I just saw this and I was like, yep, hey, we're going to be hated by everyone, okay? What we're talking about, what we're saying, all right? And we have to endure to the end, no matter what, all right? And some of us will be put to death, okay? But it is a fact. It is what it is. So with that, I want to give all praises and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who grew well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And citation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai's sake. Love you, brothers. Keep it door, keep the faith, keep pushing, keep fighting, keep studying. Pray without ceasing. Pray for each other. Pray for the apostles and elders as they get up in age. Stay praying for them. For the few sisters that are watching, keep studying. And when you pray with your head covered. Shalom. I'm almost out of here. Shalom.